YouTube, what is going on? I got another great episode for you guys. Do you guys ever wonder what the officials are thinking on the court? Or maybe what it takes to be an official? Remember, they do take a lot from the players. Well, I got one on today's episode. He's one of the best in Orlando. He has ref from pro, college, you name it, he's refed it. We're going to dive deep into his brain, figure out what made him want to be an official. So, super hype about this. So, of course, before we get started, if you guys can, please like, subscribe, and let's get it going. Let's run that intro and roll. YouTube, what is going on? How you guys doing today? I got an awesome guest with me. You guys know reffing is a very, very hard thing to do. But I got one that is very, very good at what he does.
Okay.
Reggie, how you doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I can't complain. Man, I see that you live in the Cali life again, man. I had to see. I was like, man, my boy out in Cali now. I thought you were still here, but man, I'm doing well, man. I can't complain.
That's awesome. Good to hear. Yeah, I'm just trying to live up some of my fantasies, but nothing crazy.
Well, you already doing it, my guy.
I appreciate it, man. So, real quick, just I want people to get to know you. We'll dive deep into refing, what got you into refing, and all that, because people usually just see what it's like for a basketball player, but there's more to the game of basketball than just the players playing the game. There's
Of
the
course.
officiating that comes to it. So, before we dive deep into it, just quick introduction about who you are and your name and all that.
All right. Well, my name is Reggie Bushner. On Instagram, they call me Reggie Bush 29 is where you can find me. I'm pretty much, man, I'm from Columbus, Ohio. Moved to South Florida when I was probably about 10 years old. Went to high school in Orlando, Florida at Forest Lake Academy, where we kind of did some damage playing some basketball through the 2004, 2008 years. We kind of made some noise. We even beat we beat Mount Verb when they had some guys when they were still on the uprise. But
Wow.
yeah, man, I had a little basketball resume. But for college, I went to Oakwood University. It's a private school in Huntsville, Alabama. And how I kind of got started into refing was since I was a basketball player playing in college, our coach Tony Oliver, man, I can never forget him. I was refing intramural games that kind of made us start refing, and pretty
Mhm.
much he was like, "Hey, man, you kind of natural with that whistle." And I didn't know what that meant, I didn't know you could be good at being a referee. And so pretty much he's like, "Man, it's a good side hustle. You should try it." And once I graduated, a couple years went by, we talked, and man, he was like, "Man, what about refing?" I said, "All right, man, I might just do it." So I ended up going to one of the meetings, man, and man, the rest is history. Fell in love with it, became a passion. I really thought I would never put the basketball down and pick up a whistle,
Yeah.
but man, it's happening. And I'll tell you the truth, like I feel like it's a secret society. Like once you get into it, baby, I promise you, it's like a whole nother world. So,
Yeah.
but that's my kind of like my end game, how I kind of got into refing,
Nice. That's good too. That's cool. That's a cool little quick story. So,
man.
just quick into like your younger days, was basketball the only sport you played, or did you play football, baseball, any other sports besides basketball?
But I actually played every sport. My dad, I have two older brothers. Pretty much those were like I used to look up to them to do everything.
Hmm.
So basically, I played soccer. I was actually the only one in my family who got to play tackle football. My dad was actually a star football player out in Akron. He went to Bookto High School. So pretty much he knows like kind of like the grassroots of where LeBron James is from, Akron, Ohio.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, I played every sport. Probably didn't dive too much into volleyball. Not that I don't have nothing against it. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like I could have probably, I don't know, set maybe spike with somebody. But I mean, other than that,
Hmm.
basketball was just what I wanted to do, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, when did you play high school basketball? Like, did you play in varsity, or and like after high school, did you play any college after that?
Yeah, so actually, I went to a school in South Florida down at Greater Miami Academy.
Mm-hmm.
I was like one of the first sixth graders to kind of like play basketball on the JV team. So in private school, you could play up.
Yeah.
So basically, like I was sixth grade playing high schoolers, and man, probably like my freshman year at Forest Lake Academy, which is in Orlando, Florida. Um, I made the varsity team, but the coach wanted me to, play, you know, JV level, pretty much like my little G League type thing. But
Mm-hmm.
I played up sometimes on the varsity level. But I definitely played in college. We got some like looks once we beat Mount Vernon. They
Yeah.
actually did a whole write up on us back in 2006. There was like a big old write up about who is Forest Lake Academy, and so
Mm-hmm.
pretty much back in our high school days, we did make some noise. So shout out to my guys who I played with back in 2006 at Forest Lake Academy. Those are my guys. Those are my brothers for life.
That's tough. That's cool. So, do you remember your first time ever picking up the whistle, and like, did you feel like it was an easy transition for you, or was it something that you had to like progress to get better at, or just in those type of natures, do you feel like it was just something that you could like flow into
But
easily?
I'm gonna give you the raw version of it, man. When I got into it, man, it's like you, you would never imagine there's a bunch of like guys who are like hovering over you. So they
Mm-hmm.
put you on the court, and it's like you're running up and down. They're in your ear. Let me just tell you like this: I was scared as hell,
I
man.
bet. Yeah.
I was scared. And it felt like the game was just going back and forth. I couldn't keep up. I was pointing the wrong direction. And I was just like, man, I don't understand why I got into this. But
Mm-hmm.
once I kept at it, I started, having some mentors who were pretty much down in Alabama who kind of helped me, kind of start this refereeing thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, if somebody touched somebody out, blow the whistle real quick. They'll be like, hey,
Yeah.
young blood, you're going to be here all day. I didn't know what that. I didn't know what that meant
Yeah.
until people were like, "Hey man, you blowing that whistle a little too much." And so
Yeah.
I understood what was like. Yeah, I know you can touch somebody, but that's not really a foul. And so,
Mm-hmm.
like when you get into refing, man, it's almost like you're choosing and selecting what you want to do to how your game flow and how your game manages a basketball game, how it looks.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes we can get in the way of a game.
Yeah.
And we don't want to be just because we already got black and white on, man. So we already being feared as the zebras, the footlockers, and
Mm-hmm.
we already know like so we already know what we're gonna get. So we want to be on our A game. So it's not like to anybody who's in the stands, like we trying to like get it wrong. We want
Mm-hmm.
to get it correct. And sometimes you got to understand what a lot of people on the line imagine making a split second decision and you making that right call. So, of
Yeah.
course, you don't want to be wrong end of the spectrum, but you try to get it right.
Mm-hmm. So, like, piggyback on that, what does it feel like when you're walking into a game or an arena and you're already perceived as an enemy? Because, always people see that referee as not the good guy on the court. So, what does that feel like?
Man, let me tell you how I feel, man. I get excited, baby. That's like it's like a player all over again. Here comes the booze. I'm ready
Yeah.
to have ready to come out the locker and kind of, clap hands and, you
Yeah.
know, do the whole announcement. Referees need announcements, man. They give the players an intro. They need to give us announcements too. That's how I feel. But we just that important to the game,
Yeah.
because I mean, you look at the last the Miami Heat game in Game 6.
Mhm.
The referee had to make a quick call. Did that basket count? And sure enough, they had to come together. And sure enough, before they went to the replay, he counted it. Now that's a
Yeah.
gutsy call that he had to make. So imagine
Hmm.
he doesn't do that and he gets that wrong. Now we're on the wrong end of the spectrum. So when
For
I see
sure.
my guys get it right, man, I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for
That's
them.
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you said you started your refereeing in Alabama, correct? Yeah.
yeah.
So is it a different style that you have to ref? Like I know every place has a different style of basketball's played. So let's say you came from Alabama to Orlando. Is there like a big difference in how basketball's played in those two?
Yeah, how do I say this without, because, my the dudes who I grew up playing basketball with in my era, those, there were some
Hmm.
good basketball players, because I went to college down that way. So
Yeah.
how the style of basketball is being played now and the style of play that I see in Florida, I mean, of course, you got teams that are really good, but the
Hmm.
level of competition here in Florida, or you can even say Central Florida, but it's really, you can see it's highly competitive. And it's highly
Hmm.
competitive in Alabama as well. But I'm just saying, like, there's, I mean, I do see a difference, you know.
Yeah. And do you think adapt? You know how the game adapts. Before it's in and out, now it's 3 pointers. So the game changes. Do you think referees also have to adapt to how the game is played and how you guys officiate the games?
You put me on a slippery slope, Jorge, man. You're telling me out with the old and in with the new is what I mean, I would say this, man. We all have to adapt to the game. LeBron is adapting different areas of playing style, and as referees, we should be able to adapt to play. I mean, as you
Hmm.
can see what Steph Curry is doing to the game of basketball, he's stretching it wide, and you have now stretch fours, now centers who are 7'5", shooting the long three ball. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
the game is evolving like every, all the time. So I feel like
Yeah,
as referees, as we watch the game, we should, evolve with the rules along with evolving with how we blow our whistle as well.
gotcha.
So yeah.
And so let's say for somebody that wants to like become a ref, is it hard to become a ref, or is there like a process you need to take, or like for example, somebody that wants to just get into it, do you start at high school, middle school, like what?
Man, so I actually just talked with a young man today. His name is actually Josie, and he was asking me how to become a ref. And I think that's the most question that I get all the time. How do you become
Hmm.
a ref, or what do you do? What's the qualifications? Are you licensed? And to be honest with you, man, you wherever you live, you go to your local association, and pretty
Hmm.
much you try to get in contact with whoever you can to pretty much help you to how do you get into a high school association, and pretty much from there they'll give you either classes or different things you have to take, because every year we all have to take a test to certify, and basically that's you pretty much, that's the way to get in. It's
Hmm.
kind of difficult because a lot of people are like, well, I don't know how to get in, like how did you start doing that? And
Yeah.
I say start at your local high school association, and or if you do rec leagues, you can start there, but to become like an official, you'll have to start at your local association.
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
let's say how can I put this without you getting in trouble or anything?
All right, man. You give me a difficult question, baby. I got to answer. You will plead the fifth.
Yeah, that's
Please.
funny. Do you ever, when you're refing a game, is there ever times you look at players and are like, "What the hell are you doing on a basketball court?"
Oh, man, of course. Of
And can you
course.
remember a time recently that you went through one of those?
Oh, yeah. Actually, this past weekend, man.
Mm.
This past weekend, actually, like I like to, even during warm ups, I look at both sides. I try to
Mhm.
see who going to shoot the three, try to see who's athletic, I try to see who's locked in.
Mhm.
Like those are the type of players. I see who comes up to me, hey, ref, you good? Like we're human too.
Yeah.
I don't want them to think that we're just robots. We're just out here to get them. I'm gonna put a
Mhm.
foul on you. Like I don't know you. You
Yeah.
know, but and I feel like with that, um, how can I say it? I feel like on court, you have to be able to know your players,
Yeah.
and once you know your players, I feel like, um, man, you're making it difficult for me. You're making it difficult for me. But to reel it in, man, I just say like you got to know who your firecrackers are on the floor,
Mhm.
and how do you get to know your players? How do you interact with them? And with that, I feel like you could have a better flow of the game.
Got you. And I know you take part of that the Ace League that goes on in Orlando, and I know there's a
Yeah,
lot of pro players, and then there's some of the players. Let's just put them like that. What is that experience is like for you? Because I know last season they had what's his name, Chris White, the YouTuber.
yeah, yeah,
I know he was in and I know I went to a couple games and it was quite entertaining, I would like to
yeah,
say. So
yeah.
how do you ref games like that where you have those people that are there not really. They're there to play basketball, but they're also there to try to put on a show for people. So how do
Gotcha.
you ref those type of games?
Well, shout out to Ace League. We're actually going to be
Mm.
starting June 11th. They're going to be on Sundays as well. I actually have one of my first games on June 11th, so shout out to Ace League. But I remember the first time they were like, "Yeah, we got Chris White coming in. He's going to probably turn down the music." I'm like, "What? Turn down the music? There's going to be no music playing."
Oh
So
no, yeah.
all you're hearing is entertainment when it comes from him.
Hmm.
He, even if it's the right call, he may come to you just for content and be like, "Hey man, just listen. I'm just doing this for content." You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, "Man, nah, forget that, bro. Everybody in here think you yelling at me. Nah, dog, you got to
Yeah.
calm down." But I've had some, other run-ins with Chris White, so refereeing him in different other parts, and we became a lot closer. He's like, "Eric, man, you're kind of good at what you do." But
Yeah.
with some of those guys, man, like you have some dudes who are good. You got some dudes there's levels to it.
Hmm.
But for the ones who kind of know the game a lot more, they're the ones who are just playing through anything and everything, and you can kind of tell the difference. But
Hmm.
there's some ones hey man, you hit my elbow. I'm like, bro, like like you just
Yeah.
gotta keep playing, you know what I'm saying? Like and and, and I know they're all, some of them are pro players and some of them aren't, some of them are still actively playing in different, highly competitive leagues,
Yeah.
so but I feel like to kind of like guide them, you have to kind of like know what you're doing, know what you're kind of whistle you're putting on. It's the same contact you put on down there. Better believe you better get the same contact down there. They really
Yeah.
want consistency. It's really
Hmm.
what they're looking for. And and some of it like dealing with like the people like the Chris Whites, like everybody, their antics is what I call them. Antics is
Hmm.
really what they just to look at them, hear them out, and then just keep going. I just run off, baby. That's all
Yeah.
I do. Run off. All
That's
else
funny.
fail, or hey, run off, baby.
Yeah, for sure. And my next question is, do you think there's a difference on how you need to ref from either, let's say, for high school to college to the pros? Is there a different type of style you need to ref for each game like that?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Definitely high school to college. High school, we're teaching them what's going to be, taught at the college level. Hey
Hmm.
man, play through that. Oh yeah, I know you got hit, but you finished the layup. So pretty much what you're doing is kind of like teaching them a little bit like what you're looking at for the next level. Ref, he's
Hmm.
body. All right, man. Did you lose the ball? Did you lose it? Okay, keep playing. Stop worrying about the refs. The coaches who are going to be looked at as the star players before you get to the NBA, who are the
Yeah.
brands of the teams and whatnot. You're going to go
Hmm.
listen to like the Coach K's, all of like the Roy Williamsons. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
pretty much your voice is kind of much more silent unless you're coming out like a 5-star recruit at a high level. You need to be able to play through that contact and know your role. But so most of them, you deal with them at like an AAU or
Yeah.
EYBL. You
Hmm.
tell them like, man, look at all these coaches looking at you. Don't get it twisted. I'm not here to. I want you to get a scholarship. I'm
Yeah.
just here to make sure the game is flowing. That's all I'm here for. Especially a highly, a good official. He wants the game to flow. He don't want to be an interrupter to the game. And so that's the
Hmm.
people that a lot of people get misconstrued. Hey man, no, I'm not, bro. I just want the game to be, the flow.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what we're looking for.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand about refs. They're not there to make your day or the player's day like terrible
Right.
or feel some type of way. You're there to make sure the game is evenly called and the game is flowing well, and obviously nothing crazy happens.
Right.
So that's, I feel like the players need to understand that, and that's when they do understand that, it unlocks a next level to them.
Right. Right.
So
And to be honest with you, man, like I'm a type of referee, like I try to talk with the players. I don't try to when I'm on the floor, I make it look as if I'm not trying to. Of course, we'll laugh. That's part of the game. I don't want nobody to think, oh, I'm on his side or I'm on that side.
hmm,
So you can't keep dapping up players. But there's
exactly.
sometimes like, hey man, look, come over here. Like, let me talk to you why I called this on you. And,
Hmm.
some players respect it. Some are in the motion of I don't want to hear it. Okay, well, all right. And now they think that you're out to get them. No, I'm not. I'm just trying to teach you something what I'm looking for or what's happening during the game because you're playing. I'm looking at you.
For
My
sure.
job is to really call. Imagine a 5-star athlete. What I'm doing is to looking for his default, and he's going to come to me and be like, "Man, what did I do wrong?"
Hmm.
He's getting recruited by all these different type of teams, but I'm here, trying to, call a travel on him. Bro, there ain't no travel. imagine, imagine LeBron James telling you, hey, hey man, there ain't no travel. LeBron, you traveled, man. You did the crab dribble, big dog.
Yeah.
So, there's a big, there's a bigger spectacle to what you're doing as a referee. It's a big
Mm,
responsibility. And again, like I said earlier, it's in a split second. We don't
yeah.
all have in the high school, we don't have the time to go back to replay. So
Mm,
every day challenge something. So
yeah.
like if I do, I'm kind of transparent with the coach. Hey coach, hey look, man, I might have blown that call, but I'm telling you because I'm gonna get a better angle. So work with
Hmm.
me, coach. And now he knows, oh wow, he's human, he's going to probably get it better on the next play. So
Yeah.
now you're working with the coaches, you're working with the players. Now your game is flowing. So it ain't
Hmm.
no player on the floor now is about to disrespect me. Hey, ref, da 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 da. He ain't
Yeah.
doing that because now we've established something for the game to flow. So I feel like you have some refs who are like, hey man, that's one more time. Like we shouldn't be like that. We
Yeah.
shouldn't be unapproachable. We should be approachable on the court. We're here to do a service. We get paid to do it. So be
Hmm.
patient, just like an officer. We're here to de-escalate the situation before we make things worse.
For sure.
So
Yeah. And that's what I always say. Like, if if a ref is respectable, I mean, you respect the ref how they're supposed to, and they respect you back. It should be easy communication, and that's why a lot of the refs that act like they're the executioner or the prosecutor on the court, that's why they don't get the reaction from the players they want back. Because like, bro, the way you
right,
talking to us is mad. Like, you want the same respect back, but you're not giving it back. So it goes both ways.
it
So
goes
that's
both ways.
exactly, and that's what I feel like separates a good ref or a great ref like yourself, and then a bad ref that
Gotcha.
doesn't.
I got
So
you.
that's
You,
just
you see me. You see me a couple times in action. Am I all right, Jorge? Am I pretty
yeah.
good, man?
Oh, you.
Oh,
That's why exactly I wanted you on the show because you're a great ref. You don't take nothing, but you also respectfully give
right,
it back. So
right.
that's one of you. You're a top tier ref in my book.
I appreciate that, man. That go a long way, man. I really.
Yeah. So let's give you a couple of last questions before I get you out of here. You know, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're a busy guy. So if you have any piece of advice for the younger people out there, basketball players, or even somebody that wants to become a ref, any advice you can give to them?
I would say to anybody who's 16 years old at the level to referee at the any local association, you have to be 16 years old. I have a son who's 14 now, and he comes with me to my basketball games. He's been coming since I was in Alabama, so he's kind of known how to. Oh, yeah, that was no travel. That's a whole other story. But let me let me stay on topic, man. But to all the kids who are growing up, get to know what officiating is all about before you start judging on the behalf of he's here to get me. Now I
Mm-hmm.
get it. You may have a bad run in the ref, just like people. You have bad runners. Just communicate with people. But
Mm-hmm.
I think there should be some type of ties where you should learn to be a ref. See what we're looking for. Why did he
Mm-hmm.
not blow that on time? I explain that a lot of times, even just through I'll say summer basketball. Like, hey,
Yeah.
okay, that ball didn't go through the hoop. Okay, I'm gonna give him that foul. Or why did you wait so late, bro? That's a late call, but was it the
Mm-hmm.
right call? Okay, so but for them to understand where we're coming from, and when they start
Yeah.
to understand where we're coming from, I feel like the game of basketball will start flowing much better than it's the players against the refs or the coach. Or we're not here to be against you guys. We're here to just stop you guys from killing each other, wanting to fight, giving
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying to pretty much like I said, like an officer to kind of de-escalate things and make sure things are flowing. While we're here on the court. Trust me. When I see a person get dunked on, don't believe in my head. Now, one time I didn't jump up and down. Now I want to get out of character. I'm gonna sit there and say it. I want to do this too.
You want
I
to
want
tap them on the head too?
to trust
You
me.
want to be right. You want to be right there with the players.
Right there with the players. I might have to give myself a tech. You know what I'm saying? But it's the real thing, man. That's how I
Yeah.
feel. Don't think that we don't have emotions when we're out on the court. Get to
Mm-hmm.
know what his referees are. I actually know a lot of different kids who I follow on Instagram just to see how their basketball career is going, even from the young ones, even to like the parents who accept the account to be able to like, okay, I'm watching them grow up. I
Mm-hmm.
watch them grow up right before my eyes. I see
Yeah.
some of them go to, from high school to college and right into the NBA. I had the pleasure of refereeing Cade Cunningham, who was a number one draft pick with Scotty Barnes, the Mount Verde team back in 2019, who was,
Hmm.
I mean, you know that team, and they had
Yeah.
the whole starting five is in the NBA now. And I had
Hmm.
the pleasure of being able to ref that game with some of my greater guys with Whit Bino and Alaquan, man. And so shout
Yeah.
out to those guys. But yeah, man, I would say to the young people, get to know what reffing is about. It's really a great passion. I found a lot of love in it. I wake up, I smile, I get to do what I get to do. I made this thing a career for me. And people say, "How did you make it a career?" Like I do this all year round. Now I'm even, I work with the AAU, so I work with them now. And it's like because of that, that's what it's turned into with networking with different people. So you never know where it can take you because you're meeting all people now. I go to stores, I see a family, and they'll be like, "Hey, ref, that's Reggie Bush 29." I've heard Reggie Bush 29. I was
Oh,
like,
that's funny.
so you have fun with it, and we're in a world of now branding yourself, and like I have now this shirt, the referee, the man, the myth, like this is what I do. It's part of my DNA now, and I found a lot of love and joy in it. And
That's
so I would
cool.
say to any kid, man, who wants to become a ref, I promise you, when you put that ball down, pick up a whistle. It'd be one of the most things that you can do that to pick up a ball after playing basketball. So
Yeah.
it's most definitely something that you should look into, man.
That's
But
cool.
yeah.
I did. That's like two things right there. Like one, you guys separate organized You guys are the difference between organized basketball and street ball.
Right.
That's it right there.
Right.
And then last question I have for you is who are the top three player no top five players, do five, that you've ever refed?
Top five players.
Mhm.
Yeah, you should text me that question. Ahead of time, I could have wrote that down, baby. Woo! We got 10 more minutes. Top five players. This is in no order, right? This is just
No,
kind
no, whatever your top
of.
is.
I'll say it like this. I'll say, can we say top five and unique and type
Whatever
player?
you whatever
I
you
would,
want to do.
I'll definitely have to say Cade Cunningham, Scotty Barnes. I mean, Scotty was very. I mean, he was vocal on the court, man. I mean,
Hmm.
you heard him.
Yeah.
Uh, I would definitely. I don't. Emmanuel Hansel. To see him up close, to see what he do in person, man. I mean, that's very impressive, man. I get to talk, and I got to ref him, and got to interact with him. He's a funny dude,
Hmm.
man, even off the court. And who I got? I got two more. Ready for this, man?
Hit you with a surprise dagger, you know.
Right, that was dagger, baby.
Yeah.
um, two more. I'm gonna leave somebody off, and I don't need to.
They're gonna watch this video and be like, "Oh, word, that's how you feel."
Right, that's how you feel. That's how you feel. Can we say watch? Can we say watch? Can we
Yeah,
change this to watch?
whatever you want to do,
Say
whatever you
watch.
want.
Because I didn't get to ref him, but my boy Taylor Hendricks, it was definitely back when I got to see him up close. I was actually supposed to ref his game, but just to see him up close and watch what he does, man, he's incredible. So he's definitely up there. And then my fifth, I would definitely have to say Derek Whitehead. He was freaky athletic, man. He was one of those kids, man, who was I seen him since he was like in eighth grade. And now
Hmm.
to sophomore and to now at Duke, man, he was very explosive player since then, and to see him now translate on a different level, it's amazing. So
That's cool.
those are my top five, man. I got it, or the top five I've watched.
That's
So yeah, man,
Yeah, that's
definitely,
cool. That's a good list. I give you that.
yeah.
That's a good list. So, what's next for Reggie the ref? What do you see yourself in the future in the referee industry?
Man, so I definitely have some college camps that are coming up for me. I'm definitely looking towards, Division I college level, and after that, looking forward to trying to I know some people now who are I'm in contact with to try to get into years to come. Of course, I want to
Yeah.
start with college and
Yeah.
then make my mark that way.
Build yourself up for that.
Yeah, build myself up, man. You never want to be, I was told, be a year late, not a year early. I
Hmm.
think that's very wise. I would rather, be a veteran in something that I do know and comfortable with. You better walk
Hmm.
confidently when you're walking to this job because you
Yeah.
got eyes on you. You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely want to get into the G League and one day, I want to ref NBA, baby. That's my
Mhm.
ultimate goal.
Big show right there.
Big show, baby. Yeah, and I believe it's gonna happen. I promise you that.
I
Promise you
believe
that.
it too. I believe it too. Like I said, you're one of the best refs I know, so I see it stepping up in your
Right.
future.
I appreciate that, man.
Mm.
Rock with me, baby. We going.
Yeah, you know it.
Yes,
Last
sir.
question I have for you, my guy. So I know you know a lot of people. One question I like to ask my guests, because I'm trying to build my list of special
Mhm.
guests. If you could see me interview one person on this show, who would it be?
Interview one person
Hmm.
without
But
saying interview you.
but before you answer the question, you also got to try to help me get this person on my show.
mm,
Mm.
that's they a celebrity, man. 'Cause-
It don't got to be no celebrity. It's got to be somebody that you know is a good basketball mind or are good at what they do, and I just like to pick their brains.
well, you already know I want to get my boy on here, Ref Buckets.
Ref, but oh yeah, I definitely would love to talk to him. I haven't
Yes.
talked to him I haven't seen him in a while. So,
Yeah. He
but
he 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 been boy. He been soaring, baby. I love
yeah,
this. We
I
got the
saw
ref. Yeah,
I
man. We
saw he
got the
was
ref.
at that Nike camp, right? The
Yeah, for Nike YBL. He was in Atlanta.
Yeah, I
Yep.
saw that.
Yeah, man, we definitely got to ref some Ballers Life games together. So yeah, man, he's definitely taking off, baby. He
Hmm.
already took off. He already took off, man. He up there. So I would love to
Yeah,
get him on here, man.
that would be awesome. I definitely like when he wears the referee shirt to go hoop.
Nah,
That has
yeah,
that 9 all the time.
he's hilarious, man. That dude, he's really a fun. If you don't know him, I know you see
Mm,
him on the court. I promise y'all, go follow my guy, Real Life Lay.
mm,
That's RealLifeLai. You gotta go follow him right now. But basically, man, the dude is really funny in real life. If you don't
for
know him, I
sure.
promise you, if
Hmm.
you met him, you'll feel like you knew him forever.
For sure. He's definitely a cool person to meet, and he makes you feel welcome and like
Yeah,
not that he doesn't have that because he's social media famous,
yeah.
so he doesn't let that ego get to him, and he's a
He's
cool
very
person to be
humble.
around
He's very humble, man.
for
Very humble.
sure.
Very humble.
Sure.
Yeah,
Well,
I just want to say, man, I
mm,
appreciate what you're doing, and I appreciate you having me. I mean, it's an honor and a blessing to be on this show with you. I've seen what you've done. You're an incredible photographer and
appreciate
videographer.
that.
Amazing at what you do. So we got to make sure we give you the praise and what you're doing as well, man. So definitely shout out to you, my guy. So keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate
You're
that.
gonna do big things, man. As you are.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I appreciate the shout out. And again, thank you for taking your time and being on here. I know you're a busy guy, so just taking a few minutes out of your
Oh yeah.
day.
Oh yeah, man. I also want to tell everybody, man, go follow me on Instagram, Reggie Bush
All right,
29.
I got you. I'll make sure I put the link to your Instagram right on this beautiful screen right here. Though you're
Yeah,
gonna be right on there.
appreciate it,
So
man.
make sure I get your likes up, and when they see you on the court, they'll be like, "Yo, I knew who that is."
Know who that is, man. He making the right call, baby.
Exactly. He's like, "Oh, we're gonna have a good ref today." That's what I want him to
Exactly.
hear.
Exactly. Well, I appreciate your time, Jorge.
For
For man.
sure. I
Appreciate
appreciate your time again. Everybody appreciate for watching the channel. If you guys can, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. And let's keep growing together. Let's be great together. And let's get out of here. Again, I appreciate it, Reggie.
it. Hey man, appreciate
And
you, man. Thank you.
peace out, everybody.